So let's hope this goes well.
Oh my God.
We both sound like absolute dog shit.
Hit it.
Welcome. It is episode 4. Today is January, I don't remember, 4th. Happy New Year, everybody. My name is Andrew.
I'm Chris.
We are the Coach's Sons podcast. Happy New Year, brother. How are you?
Happy New Year, man. Hopefully we could refrain from the sniffles and coughs, so we apologize in advance.
We're going to mute as much as we can and edit as much as we can, but there's going to be some sniffles, some coughs, some other disgusting sounds. We'll try to disguise the best that we can. But it's that time of year. Gonna be sick. So, how was your Christmas? You have a good Christmas, my man?
It was all right. Wish we could have jumped back on, but again, you had told me every other week, so here we are. Holidays kind of got in the way, but that's all right.
Holidays happen, and obviously there was one big thing that happened after the last episode. Literally 3 hours after we finished recording and editing, it was really frustrating. So we'll get into that, but today is the Hall of Fame episode, right? That's going to be a big chunk of what we talk about and debate over. Should be a lot of fun. Obviously, we're going to touch on some things that happen. Not a lot of things happen. There's one big one. Both of our teams made some noise, which is awesome. We'll go over those as well. But again, Hall of Fame discussion. I'm pretty excited about it.
I cannot wait, and I think it's going to get pretty tense in here. For what it's worth, neither of us know what the other's ballot is.
Haven't seen it.
Everybody's going to hear it live, including myself. So all of our reactions to whoever we pick is going to be, I guess for lack of a better term, live, but you get the point. And we're going to see where this goes. I'm really excited. I love Hall of Fame talk and conversation. I have a slight idea of how this is going to go, but we'll see what happens. But in the meantime, like Andrew said, we're going to break down, what had happened since our last episode, including Yamamoto. We're going to introduce 2 brand new segments where I get to get on my soapbox about the Mariners. Andrew gets to do his little breakdown of the Braves. So we're going to try to incorporate that so that we don't take too much of actual podcast time talking about our respective teams, unless they're in the big news, of course. And from there, we'll just let this podcast go where it may go. We're pretty excited for this one. I've already texted Andrew being like, hey, I'm ready. This is the one. This is where we break out, because this is an all-encompassing, right? This, minus the few moves we're going to talk about that are relevant. This is an all-encompassing, conversation. We're going to bring this up next year when we do this episode again.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm excited. I expect some tense conversations, and
here's the deal. There's going to be a couple names that we're like, okay, yeah, this is obvious. I think I can think of 2 immediately. Yeah. I'm like, if they're on your list, you're an idiot, and you're not an idiot. You have terrible opinions sometimes, but you're not an idiot. So I expect those to go pretty easy, but there might be some things we go back and forth on. So I'm excited. But okay, let's dive into it. Obviously, I just want to go ahead and say again, I want to start another episode saying I'm kind of right. The Dodgers signed a big free agent arm. Now, I said Snell, so technically my prediction is incorrect,
wrong.
But Yamamoto.
Yeah. The
Dodgers game continues. They continue to get everyone.
Like clockwork, we record it, we edit it, we were ready to go, and then what was it, about 11 p.m., all the news broke that it was a done deal, and we fought about coming out with a little emergency one. It was like, we're not ready for the big time yet. So we kind of sat back, and here we are 2 weeks later reporting it.
And guess what? Nothing's really happened since.
No, we didn't really miss a ton. That was the big news, right? Huge signing. Guy's going to be a very big part in everything that they're doing. And they just keep going. And I had said that they're not done, and they weren't, right? They went and got him. I don't see any huge moves left out of them, but I guess when you're dealing with unlimited funds in the way that they have, who knows?
I still think Hader goes there now. because that's the one fear I have. I mean, hell, they could take Hader and Bellinger and be like, well, okay, why should we even play anymore? I just don't understand.
Yeah, we made all of our predictions, speculation and stuff, and minus the couple other deals we're going to talk about here in a minute. Nothing else happened. They're all still kind of live, right? We still have all those predictions out there.
We were hoping that when the big ones fell, the rest of the dominoes would follow suit, and that hasn't really happened. Yamamoto gets signed, and the only big name that gets signed is Giolito.
Yeah, Lucas Giolito is a Boston Red Sox.
Hey, that's something I wanted for Christmas was the Red Sox to be relevant.
They spent money. And prior to last year, he's been solid.
Yeah.
Last year was probably a year he wants to forget. And
played on 3 teams last year or 4?
3.
3, okay.
He was part of that Angels waiver thing.
Yeah. That's right.
So he got dropped, and then the Guardians picked him up late in the year. But he was bad. Off the top of my head, probably like a +5 ERA.
How can you really be consistent when all you do is move around? Like it's just hard to create a routine and be good. So hopefully he gets back to his former self in Boston. Obviously, I want Boston to be good or better. So that's definitely helping my wish list.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of the Red Sox, I don't know if they signed him knowing they were going to make this move, but let's have a little Braves breakdown real quick, and let's talk about how they made a trade for Chris Sale.
Where'd he go?
The Atlanta Braves. And by the way, update, we have signed him for 2 years as well, so he's going to be a Brave for the next couple years. Now he's 35. Quite honestly, this is Charlie Morton 2.0. That's what Double A is hoping for, is that Chris Sale comes in, regains his glory just like Morton did, because Morton was not pitching well for the Rays when we got him. He came over to us and started pitching consistently, and so hopefully that's what happens here. We need arms, we need innings to be consumed, and hopefully Chris Sale can do that. Now, I think it definitely shows my fear of just the market being too expensive, right? We were never going to get Cease or Glass now or any of the other big names because they wanted too much. We were able to get an arm for Grissom, which is who we all talked about being traded. It was going to be that guy. And the best arm we could get was Sale. And you know what? That's not a bad arm. I don't hate it. He'll be our number 3, maybe 4. It just depends on how, a couple of the injury things fall. But, I mean, he's not better than Strider. He's not better than Fried. So I'm happy about it. I think it'll be interesting to see if he stays healthy, because if he does, that's a really good left-handed arm, and so that's good. So can't be too upset about it.
You don't sound as excited as I want you to sound about this. Like
I mean, okay, he's 35.
He's 34. I looked it up.
No way.
Yeah.
He's 34?
Yeah.
No.
Birthday's
You just
in
looked
May.
it up?
I did. Because I thought I saw 34 elsewhere. So here's my other question.
So I'm pulling a Chris today and being bad at ages.
How the turntables, my friend. So the other thing I've kind of been seeing on social media, or I think it was on MLB Network too, is how confident do you feel Fried comes back now? Because he gets to walk after this year. Do you think this was an insurance type of move where
he doesn't.
We got Sale,
Yeah,
and
no,
we got our lefty guy, and we kind of, that's for better or worse, that's what we have.
Yeah, no, Fried's too good. He's going to need too much money. He doesn't come back next year. So this is the last hurrah we have with him. I'd love for him to stay, but we never signed him like we did everybody else, and so I think he walks. So yes, I think this is insurance for the next couple years and us trying to find arms. And I think after the 2 years with Sale, a couple other contracts roll off, and so we'll have a decent amount of money to work with to really get big arms if we need to. But we have 3 or 4. And sorry, we're getting to the Braves a lot, but we have 3 or 4 arms in the system that our team is excited about that could come up and be that third starter. You know what I mean? So I think the hope is we get to them. He's sells that gap. He's going to bridge that gap. But no, Fried, I can't imagine Fried comes back.
So quick, just comment from an outsider perspective. I think it's a good deal for both.
Agreed.
When Sale came back, I think he gave him 20 starts for Boston. He was solid.
He's not a world beater. Like, he's not the Cy
But
Young winner.
everybody just expects, you go to the Braves get him for, yes, the money amount tied to him in these contracts is a lot, right? It was like 18 or something million. But the Red Sox sent a bunch of money to get him to unload him. So I think like over the 2 years, Atlanta's only going to pay him like a little over 20 million or something.
It's not bad, yeah.
So it's really not a bad deal. You get it. You take a stab at a guy that's when he's Cy Young caliber.
Yes.
And it's tough to say he's Verlander, right? Because Verlander turned it on as he got older. Scherzer, has gotten injured recently, but, those types of guys still have it. So if Sale, I don't know, can figure out that.
Yeah, I mean, from my perspective, if he can be 70% of that Cy Young pitcher, I'm happy.
You're in a good spot.
Yeah, I'm in a good
agree.
spot. And yes, I want to be more excited about it too. He's a big name.
Oh, name huge.
But 3 years ago, way more excited.
Well, yeah, he was Dylan Cease. that was who you were like. Similar concept, right? So I think it's a good deal. And my boy, you didn't like him very much, but Vaughn Grissom gets a shot. I don't know what position he's going to play, second or short, I think.
Probably, yeah. I mean,
we are not going on a huge Vaughn Grissom tangent.
Yeah.
It was more or less he gets a shot. He was blocked. He wasn't going to play very much in Atlanta, right? You guys are lock, stock, barreled for a long time. You weren't going to play him in the outfield, right? You just got Kelenic. It worked out.
there was some debate about him being insurance for Kelenic, but I mean, he's not going to play. Like, the guy's was riding the bench no matter what.
Good for him. A good deal all around, and time will tell what happened.
By the way, I'm glad we got rid of him. You're right. I was not a fan. Like, we gave him a shot. He didn't come through, and I'm glad we were able to get something good from him. I mean, best of luck, obviously. I'm not trying to trash him as a person, but just wasn't impressed.
I'm on your side, Vaughn.
I don't know why. All right, so my team's not the only ones that did something. Let's hear some Meh-riners information.
That's gonna look so much better on social media.
It's gonna sound it's gonna look way better than actually saying it.
We got some segment names. We're excited for them, but rip them apart if you don't like them. Give us some suggestions. However, the Seattle Mariners signed Mitch Garver.
What?
Yeah, right. Is that big for me? Yeah, for a Mariners fan, or coming from a team that wasn't going to spend roughly around 10 to 12 million a year. There's a 2 million signing bonus this year, so it kind of cuts underneath. But he's a DH, hole filled, right? Yeah. They I don't know what else I need them to do. Yes, I wanted Soler, but he fills a hole. If he's healthy, he's our everyday DH. I have no idea if he could catch still. If he can, he'll spell Cal a little bit. But I think he's probably going to play like 120 games.
Yeah.
Because
if he just DHs, yeah.
Yeah, but when Cal doesn't catch, he's going to DH.
Yeah.
You can't take Cal's bat out of the lineup too often.
No. I mean,
but he's a guy. He could hit. I don't think the field's going to kill him too much, being in Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, that's the state of the Mariners right now. That's the kind of guys we have to go get.
Mm-hmm.
Believe it or not, that's like one of the biggest free agent signings they've had in years in terms of dollar.
I believe
in terms of money spent.
Yeah.
Off the top of my head, I want to say the last one was like Nelson Cruz, which was, a league of its own. But yeah, I mean, he's not Nelson Cruz, but if he ever played anywhere like that, then I'm happy. In my opinion, I think I've said it a bunch, but the Mariners should not be done. I need them to make maybe 2 more moves.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see what happens. But for now, happy with Mitch Garver. I'll get off my soapbox. And I think Is there anything else we want to talk about? Like,
No, I mean,
there's still guys out there. We kind of speculated.
Obviously, there's a lot of guys out there, but we've done a lot of speculation. There's been smaller moves, which doesn't really garner us talking about. So, no, I think we're good to go to move on. People are probably tired of us guessworking anyways. And, I mean, I'm with you, by the way. I would like one more move out of the Braves. I want one more arm.
It's still early. I mean, it's unfortunately, prior to this year, a lot of moves happened way before this time.
Mm-hmm.
But what do we got? Like 50 days or something till spring training starts?
Till the catchers and pitchers.
Something like that. I think it was Valentine's Day, if I'm not mistaken. So we got a little bit of time, not too much, but things need to start falling into place. Let's get a move on. But for now, for the rest of this episode, we got the Baseball Hall of Fame.
Bum-ba-da-da.
Can't believe you just did that. We're going to edit that out.
No, we're not. We're going to keep it because it's funny. All right, so it's not funny. It's just it's required or needed, whatever. We'll probably edit this part out because I'm rambling. But all right, so Chris, it's that time of year. Now, the Hall of Fame is something that's highly contested, and a lot of people have opinions about it. So the main opinion, of course, is steroids. There's people who are against it. People are for it. You know, there's the let everyone in team. And then there's the, like, well, they cheated team. So where do you fall on that before we really get into it?
Let them in. Depending on their, not this isn't open door policy, but you still got to be one of the best. And let them in. There's no reason not to.
Okay, so
it's going to start here. I'm excited already.
Counterpoint.
There isn't a counterpoint, but go ahead.
If you let them in, what about the others who are excluded for other reasons? Cheating, gambling.
But okay, well, who? Shoeless Joe Jackson? Let him in too.
Yep.
Who cares?
P. Rose.
Okay.
I mean, who
cares? It's for
everybody cares. What are you talking about? That's why they're not in the Hall of Fame.
There's a group of however the hell many baseball writers vote that get to say whether or not I get to see Roger Clemens' plaque when I go there. It's a museum. Who cares? It's a plaque. You're going to tell me they don't have Roger Clemens memorabilia all scattered throughout the Hall of Fame, but he can't have a plaque in the room? Kick rocks.
Yeah, I mean, he cheated. He got caught cheating multiple times.
All the older guys did like greenies and stuff. Those were illegal. Ain't nobody come after them. Everybody thinks they're God's gift to baseball.
Different.
No, it's not.
It's completely different.
Just because they weren't at Balco doesn't mean they weren't taken.
Steroids is different. Steroids is increasing your performance. It's making you better. It's changing your physical characteristics. Look at Barry Bonds. Now, Barry Bonds is the best baseball player we ever saw.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
No doubt. Me and you got to watch
Yeah.
the best baseball player ever.
Correct.
Thanks to enhancements.
No,
dude.
I'm not denying he did them, but
his head grew 10 times.
He was
his
an
size.
MVP before any of that happened. He won MVPs in Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
Did he take him? Sure. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. The guy's got 762 home runs. You don't get that by putting a needle in your arm.
Yes, you do.
You don't.
Absolutely, you do.
It's not true.
He wasn't getting that many without the needle.
Okay. He hits 600.
No. What are his stats pre-steroids, post-steroids? Because those numbers are vastly different.
He never failed a test. Did he do them? Probably, sure.
Probably nothing. He absolutely did steroids.
Okay, but he never failed a test. Started because he look at his stats. He hit. I don't know. He had.
Give me his home run stat line year over year. Because there's obviously a point where it becomes astronomical.
So, I mean, here we'll start with the first MVP, I guess. Okay. He hit 33.
Okay.
25, finished second in MVP. Mm-hmm. 34, won the MVP. 46, won the MVP, led the league in home runs, RBIs, OBP, slugging, OPS, the whole 9 yards. 37, finished fourth. 33, 42, 40, 37, 34, 49, and then our favorite, 73. And that 73 kicked off 4 straight MVPs of, he went 73, 46, 45, 45. And then kind of fell off. He hit 26 and 28 to end his career at 41 and 42, which is pretty awesome.
Anyways, here's the deal. I think we all know when it started. It was a year prior to him hitting 70 because it jumped up significantly.
He won 3 MVPs.
Okay.
Is he not? If he's stopped that day, is he not a Hall of Fame baseball player?
I'm not taking away from the fact.
You are.
I'm not taking away from the fact he's the greatest baseball player I ever watched play baseball.
I knew the conversation was going to go here. You ready? Do you think David Ortiz should be in the Hall of Fame?
No.
Okay. All right.
Based off the rules of engagement right now. Okay. So
I was ready to jump across this table.
no, I know. So here's the deal.
Okay.
So and this is kind of how I picked my 10 as well, by the way. Based on the rules of engagement that we have.
There are no rules.
Yes, it is, man. Like the steroids is the rules of engagement. Cheating, gambling, getting caught doing things you're not supposed to gets you eliminated from being in the Hall of Fame. It's how it works.
It's not.
And until that's removed, which by the way, Clemens, Bonds, McGuire, Palmeiro, I think there's another name out. Sosa. They can't. They're done. They're past year 10. They're not in the Hall of Fame.
They could do that.
So you think they're going to roll back this? Like, okay, everyone's allowed in? They're not going to do that. So because they're not going to do that, we can't include them.
I just don't understand how, like, again, we're talking about a museum. Literally, a museum.
So do you want like a steroids wing? Like, hey, this is the cheater section?
Whatever you feel is necessary that they should be in there is, it just doesn't make sense otherwise. Like, here, a non-likable guy is Rafael Palmeiro, right? He was the face of most of the, well, Canseco obviously, but Palmeiro was the one in, Congress and yelling at people and all that. Guy's got over 3,000 hits and 500 home runs. There's 7 people ever to do that. He is one of the best baseball players of all time.
1,000%.
He just doesn't exist.
When you make a non-Hall of Fame All-Star team, he's on it. 1,000%.
Well, he's a Hall of Famer. You have his spikes are in that museum somewhere. They're displaying his spikes for something he did when he hit his 3,000th hit or when he hit his 500th or whatever. They're there. Take them out too. Then you don't get to honor him in any other way besides his face being on a plaque. There's no reason.
Do you think those guys want their cleats in there if they can't have their bronze bust?
Well, I don't know. They probably they usually take them like that day or something.
Yeah,
I don't think you get that. I don't know how that works.
I have no idea how that works either. I'm asking
because I know like
if you're Palmeiro, if you're Clemens, if you're Bonds, do you even want to be in the Hall of Fame right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you belong there. That. I haven't gone to like an actual induction. Like I haven't stayed the weekend until Sunday.
Right.
But I've been there for the weekend, right? When they're all there doing all the events, they're all, they're golfing together, all that. Like that camaraderie, man, like, RIP, but like Hank Aaron's they're just on the street.
Yeah.
That's there. Right? Like, I mean, hell, Willie Mays is Barry Bonds' godfather. Like they belong, like they all belong there. They belong in that to be enshrined in the Hall of Fame. And you're putting in lesser players because of that.
Well, okay, so I would argue, yes, there are a few players that are being left off this list, but you're not putting in lesser just because of it.
You are. Got people that they're not voting. People that didn't vote for Barry Bonds voted for,
Larry Walker?
Larry
deserved
Walker
to be in the Hall
I
of
agree.
Fame.
He's not a name I'm talking about.
Fred McGriff.
He's close.
He's close. Fred McGriff is like my Hall of Fame Mendoza line.
He is his 280th in career WAR.
Okay.
And that's not end all be all, right? Like there's a lot of things that go into that. I don't know all the calculations. But if Crime Dog's your Mendoza line,
Which he
I'm
is
just- I'm
for
just
Hall
gonna-
of Fame.
I'm
Yeah.
just gonna throw out a name,
Okay.
and then you tell me yes or no. He's not on the ballot now, so we're not giving anything away. But mind you, if I'm saying his name, you know that he's close in something, right? So Lance Berkman.
You're asking if he should be in the Hall of
Yeah.
Fame? No.
Okay. He has 0.6 less career WAR than Fred McGriff.
Okay.
Like,
But it can't
there's
just be,
no,
it's not just based on war, though.
no, but like, what do you want? Like, he's got 366 home. Like, Crime Dog has him in most stuff, but like, I don't know. Like, I think Berkman played outfield for a little bit. So like, again, this isn't strictly offensive WAR either, but it's just like you throw out like you're like, oh, like here's another one. Like the answer is immediately no.
Okay.
Right. Brian Giles,
Yes.
Hall of Famer.
No.
I was like, wait, nuts. He has 51.1 career WAR.
Yeah.
Like, really, like, good player, solid major leaguer, played 15 years, has a hair under 300 home runs. But it's like, what? Like, where's the cutoff line? Like, where? Like, we say McGriff, but on what? Like, he was really close to 500 home runs. I personally believe if he got 500, he would have just got in. Like, why he wasn't in from the first get-go, I have no idea. But again, you go like down. I'm trying to go like super far down this list to see if like there's somebody in the Hall of Fame right now, and I'm gonna get really upset about it. But as of now, I haven't found anybody. I'm down to like 4 something.
Wait, for
Like
war?
400 plus career WAR, and like those guys don't get in.
Oh, I don't know if anyone has 100 plus and is not in, other than
Oh
like,
no,
the
I'm
steroids
saying
folks.
I'm going down.
Oh,
so it's
okay,
like
okay.
under,
I know-
I basically.
I know there's a name that everyone should know that made the Hall of Fame that should not have.
Bill Mazeroski.
Well, I was saying Harold Baines.
Oh, don't get me started on that guy. If you want, I know you're gonna yell at me, but if you want prime Harold Baines content, go follow J. Hay Kid of Baseball
course.
is Dead, and he keeps track of a Baines meter. Hold a little ceremony for each active player that crosses the career threshold of Harold Baines.
Man, you know what his WAR is?
It's low. It's like 38 point something. What is it? 38.1?
It's 38.8.
38.8. That's what it is.
I mean, so that's his WAR.
He's bad. Like,
yeah,
he
like,
got in
so-
on that like weird committee thing.
Yeah, it just. I mean, if you want to make a case for people who shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame because Bonds isn't in, you can go to Baines, but Baines isn't in because Bonds isn't.
Bill Mazeroski has 36.6. He hit 1 home run.
Yeah, I mean, there's some if you look at some of the older guys, like there's some duds that are in the Hall of Fame for sure. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about people we watch play baseball.
That's fair. And Crime Dog, again, I do think Crime Dog should be in. That's fine.
Agreed.
But I think your point of him being like, again, the hypothetical Mendoza line of Hall of Fame in terms of career WAR is very close. Like, it's not far off. Like, yeah, there's guys under it, based on position and all that type of stuff.
Well, if you look at like what is it, closer WAR, it's low.
Oh yeah, real low.
Like that number, you can't
We'll
even
get
use
into
WAR.
that.
Yeah, you can't even use WAR in that perspective.
Yeah.
But I think if you're a positional player and your WAR is under 50, it's tough for me to consider you.
Fair. I don't
You know what I
disagree.
mean?
Yeah, that's reasonable.
It's just it's because now I don't want WAR to be the end all be all.
it's
but
not,
it's
it's
a
not.
good stat
Wait.
for career impact. You know what I mean?
WAR is a good stat. In count, like, all the new age statistics of OPS
sabermetrics,
plus
all
and
that
all
kind of
that.
stuff, yeah.
Like, to me, when it comes to Hall of Fame, it's like, did you get 500 home runs? Like, that's legitimate. Like,
Yeah.
I know the answer to this is no, but I always run the argument of, like, if Adam Dunn got 500 home runs, does he get in?
Oof.
Like, the answer is no, but like, the guy hit 500 home runs.
Do you feel the same way about stolen bases?
No.
No.
You want to put Billy Hamilton in the Hall of Fame? Like, current Billy? There's
Billy
another.
Hamilton doesn't have 500 stolen bases.
I don't have a good barometer of how many stolen bases is a lot of stolen bases.
Okay. Well, we'll talk about that too.
Here,
Then.
oh God, I can't wait to hear who you put in.
No, I haven't put. I just want you keep going back to home runs. You realize that's not the only stat that exists, right?
No, but so does hits and average. And
Yeah.
RBI and all that.
Yeah.
Like, what else are you looking at?
I mean, career average, I think, is pretty important, to be quite honest with you.
Sure.
But I'm just saying, like, does stolen bases matter? And the thing is, no one steals bases anymore, so I don't think it does because no one steals bases. Maybe the higher that number is, maybe we should pay attention because they're outliers.
So the other, I'm gonna kind of cut you off, but your point leads me to just where I'm going here. Is there a certain level of dominance over a short amount of time that you think people deserve to get in?
No.
I guess it doesn't.
No, because if you look at it that way, then you can have a 2-year career and make the Hall of Fame, and I think that's dumb.
I think you know where I'm going with this, but my argument for a lot of this is Johan Santana. Is he a Hall of Famer?
No.
Okay.
No, I mean, he was good for 5 years? Maybe? Was it 5 or was it 4?
6, 5 or 6. It depends
on
what you're looking at. But, I mean, he's got two,
he was dominant during that
Cy
time.
Youngs.
Yeah. That's fine.
He finished 3rd in Cy Young twice.
Okay.
Like, what do you want from the guy?
To pitch more than 5 years? How long was his career?
12 years.
So he had 6 good years and 6 irrelevant years.
I mean, if you want to count 21 and 22, he pitched in like relief. Probably started games in 23. Or excuse me, at age 23, 2002, and then he was they say what you want about all-stars, but I mean 04 it was his first Cy Young, and then through 08, 09 he was legitimate. I don't know.
Tough.
I just think
and here's the thing too, and it depends on the type of player, because pitchers. Nowadays, longevity is tough, right?
Yeah.
Because their arms are falling off. But if you look at his numbers compared to take John Smoltz for an example,
sure,
who stopped starting and became a dominant closer. You know what I mean? So, like, he found ways to create a longer career and continue to be a great pitcher. I don't know. I think if you are dominant for 5 years, it's a interesting conversation, but it's just not enough.
I mean, it puts you into Jacob deGrom territory too.
Okay, deGrom doesn't make the Hall of Fame right now for me.
Okay,
because he hasn't been healthy long. I mean, and that's the thing. Like, I understand pitchers' arms are falling off, so it's going to be tougher to make that decision, I guess, as we continue to move down this path. But I mean, I need you to be a name that people are afraid of for 10 years.
Okay,
if I'm being honest,
I'm on the Johan Santana train. I don't know. I can't really be convinced otherwise. I thought he was dominant for long enough to do what he needed to do.
So what's your threshold?
I don't know. Like, okay. I guess I don't. If you're if you're the most dominant,
prestigious awards twice, then you get to be in the Hall of Fame. Is that what we're after?
No. It's just like you're up. Like, he's a top 5 pitcher in baseball for 6 years. So what do you want the guy to do? You want him to be like nobody's dominant for 10 years.
I want him to be
anymore.
A top 20 pitcher for 10 years. For 10 years?
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you want him to do? Like, what? I guess, again, did he do it that long? No, I agree with that. But
this is the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, and he's got 2 Cy Youngs declaring him the best pitcher in the league for 2 out of 6 years.
Okay, that's fair. He had a dominant few years, but again, what time frame was this? What was the era exactly?
I got off of it, but what, 02?
Was it like,
I don't know.
Steroid era?
Probably, right?
Yeah.
02 to 08
okay.
or 09. What do you want him to do?
I mean,
you think Johan Santana's on steroids?
I mean, I don't know. It's the everything
so just
in that.
Everybody that you put in is. Oh my God! Here we go. Here's gonna put every single
here's
person.
the problem. I don't know And if someone has a peak, especially a large peak, it's tough not to go, well, why were they only that good for that period of time? Why couldn't they stay close to that? I don't remember him having a life-changing injury.
No,
Right?
I mean, he went to the Mets. So, I mean, take that how you want.
That's a life-changing injury for sure. I mean, okay, listen, it's an interesting conversation. 5 years is a long time to be dominant, but it's just not enough to get in the Hall of Fame. I don't know. I need you to be relevant more than 5 years.
Okay.
So, and I don't think he was. So you're incorrect.
I mean, he's not even on the ballot anymore. So apparently, all these head in the mud sports writers are with me as well, or with you as well.
With me, yes,
so
correct.
I have one other gripe before we get into our ballots.
Okay.
That I want to just. I don't know if you agree with this. I might just end it. I might just go home. You could
can't
revote
wait.
your own ballot. You just to give some background with the Hall of Fame. In order to get inducted, you need 75% of the votes.
Right.
Off the top of my head, I honestly don't know how many votes there are in total.
I have no clue. Yeah.
I truthfully
Hundreds,
don't know.
right? I mean, I think
a
it's
couple
in the
hundred.
hundreds.
I
Yeah,
want to say
yeah.
maybe closer to 4, maybe 5.
Sounds about
I could
right.
look it up. I haven't. I'm sorry. But you need 75% of the vote. If you get 5% or less, you are no longer on the ballot.
Correct.
And each voter can vote up to 10 times, or for 10 players.
10
Excuse
players.
me.
Okay.
Excuse me. You can vote for 10 players at
It's
a
like
time.
one of those call-in shows, like
You
The
do
Voice. You can
not-
call in.
You
Text
do
your
not
favorite.
have to vote for 10 players, but you have
Correct.
the option to do so.
Up to 10.
So, this is just what. Now, I've seen other ballots like this.
Yep.
And this is just the first one that popped up. And for Hall of Fame tracking purposes, follow at Mr. Tibbs, Tibbs. He's awesome. He keeps track of all of the
It's a huge
public
spreadsheet.
ballots.
It's impressive.
It's insane.
Yeah,
He's
it's
been
cool.
doing it for years. I think he's been on MLB Network too now. Follow him. It's where most of this data is coming from, especially the ballot. But this ballot, I'm not even going to say the name of the guy to call him out, but it's public. You could find it.
Right.
He voted for 4 players. Not debating who he did or didn't take, but you'll hear my gripe in a second.
Okay.
He voted
can't
for
wait.
Adrian Beltre, Todd Helton, Gary Sheffield, Billy Wagner. It's 4 people.
Mm-hmm.
He did not vote for Andy Pettitte, who he voted for last year. So, my complaint, my gripe, my argument is how in the world is someone a Hall of Famer, in your own personal opinion, from one year to the next, where you're not even maximizing out your votes? If he had 10 votes, I'd be like, you know what? I get it, right? Mauer and Beltre came on the ballot. You don't think Pettitte's there anymore. How?
Okay. How many did he vote for last year?
I don't know. That I don't know.
How do you know you had Pettit on it last year?
Because the not Mr. Tibbs tracks that is a lost vote.
Okay, so you know he didn't vote for Pettit twice in a row, but you don't know how many he actually voted for last time. I feel like you don't have the complete story here.
No,
and so that's why I'm confused.
No. Let's back up. The new people on the ballot, I'm just going to say the main new people on the ballot are Beltre and Mauer.
Right.
So they can't add or lose a vote, right? They're first-time guys.
Yep.
Todd Helton, been on the ballot. He voted for him last year because it's based on how he shows it. He shows it green if you got a vote added, meaning that person didn't vote for you last year.
Gotcha.
Red means you have a vote subtracted, which means that person didn't vote for you this year but did last year. So he voted for Sheffield, he voted for Wagner, he voted for Helton. Beltre's new, and he did not vote for Pettit, which he did last year. So there's no these are the people that are voting for the Hall of Fame. This man is. We're going to debate whether or not Andy Pettitte should be in a second, but you can't tell me that, if we do this next year and you don't vote for 10 people and you say, oh, so-and-so can't be in this year, well, that you're just wrong. How do you vote for somebody and not have a valid excuse for relieving? They didn't play. He didn't play a game.
Right.
He didn't pitch an inning. He didn't kill anybody.
Well, no, he didn't.
What
kill
he
anyone.
did was what he did, but you voted for he was good enough last year.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he had more conversations about steroids and was like, you know what, Pettit doesn't deserve to be on it.
It's just wrong then. It just doesn't make sense.
So okay, So you're attacking this person personally for?
I'm going to attack there's a bunch of them that do that. I'm going to attack every single one of them.
It is
nonsense.
weird. No, I mean, I definitely think it's weird especially if you're not maximizing your vote. So you're not like, well, I can't vote for him again because there's a better name. Then yeah, that doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Yeah. I agree with you, Chris. That's kind of dumb.
All right, that's fair.
I'm trolling a little, and I apologize, but like I do think it's dumb. Like if they were good enough last year, why are they not good? And here's the deal: everyone's going to change their mind based off certain things, but Pettit didn't do anything to really warrant.
There's nothing. What could change your mind?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, because there's not like a new pitcher that you put in instead. Yeah, I don't know. I think that's strange. I think that's very strange.
For if you're maximizing your votes, you could say, "Oh, Beltre and Mauer are on there. I voted for them instead." And Pettit's got the raw end of the deal.
Well, maybe
I'm not even arguing who he picked and didn't pick.
Maybe there's a chance that he's like, morally, I'm not going to pick 10. I'm only going to pick 4 every year. And so the new names means he rolled
that's
off
stupid
Pettit.
too. That's even more ridiculous. Only
just
4
saying,
people deserve to be in the Hall of Fame.
I'm trying to paint a better picture. Maybe he's like, you know what?
You're taking votes away from people.
That many people should make the Hall of Fame every year. Should only be 4 at the most, and these are my 4 votes. Maybe that's what it is.
You're taking votes from people who could still be on the ballot.
Said person is morally obligated to only vote for 4 people because he just doesn't want the Hall of Fame to be full of people that don't deserve it, like Harold Baines.
I mean, Harold Baines didn't get in on the first 10 go. I don't even know how long he was on the ballot for, but they put him in that veterans committee thing.
Yeah.
So he got in. That's the only way some of these like Bonds and Clemens get in.
He got in because a lot of people liked him. So
Harold Baines,
which is why Bonds
that's not
and
Harold
Clemens
Reynolds. We're talking Harold Baines. He was a good.
Well, did not people like Harold Baines?
I don't know. I don't know anything about Harold Baines. Harold Reynolds is the one on MLB Network.
Oh, okay. I just assumed everyone thought Harold. I mean, because he played everywhere. I just thought he was
he's played on a lot.
I just thought he was everyone's best friend.
He very well could be. I have no idea. I don't claim to know.
All right. So I get that gripe. So Chris, our ballots. Did you do 10?
I got 10.
I did too.
Okay.
So how do we want to go about this? Do you want to go first? Do you want me to go first?
Do we? I don't care. You pick. That's fine.
Okay.
Do we want to try to throw out names that we think each will have, or do we just want to go the list and then complain from there?
Okay. I do think I want to do that part.
Go ahead.
All right. Beltre's on both of our lists.
Adrian Beltre is a Hall of Famer. He's at as of 2 days ago, he's at 97% of the vote. He probably gets in first ballot.
Okay. So for me, I have 2 people that are first timers that Mauer's the other one. Yeah,
I'm in on Mauer.
Yep. Okay. So those are the 2 that I have that I'm like immediately yes.
Okay. I'm in agreement. I have those on mine.
Okay.
So let's give us your other. Did you max out?
Yeah, I did 10.
Oh God. Go ahead.
I did 10. All right. You just want me to go down the list?
Yeah, however you want to. That's fine.
All right. I'll do it in. How about this? Let me arrange it by war. Okay.
Oh, you got it too.
Adrian Beltre.
Already wrong, but go ahead.
Carlos Beltran.
Okay.
Manny Ramirez. Andrew Jones, Todd Helton, Gary Sheffield, Joe Mauer, Omar Vizquel, Billy Wagner, Francisco Rodriguez. Those are my 10.
Okay, I'm gonna read.
What you got?
I'm angry already.
Good.
With you.
Good. You need to be angry.
Let me. I'll read mine, and then I don't know how I'm gonna deal with you.
Let's go.
A-Rod. Beltran.
Yep.
Manny.
Yep.
Andrew Jones.
Yep.
Helton.
Yep.
Sheffield.
Yep.
Pettit.
No.
Wagner. So
I have Wagner.
Okay.
Wait, that was 10?
Yeah. Plus the other 2.
Oh, okay. You're right.
I got 10.
So no Utley?
What? No, not yet. He'll get in. He'll get in eventually.
I'm actually surprised you didn't go Utley, to be quite honest with you.
He deserved to be in. I prefer to give my votes to these guys.
Here's my problem.
He's right on the he's right on the cusp of all these other guys.
Here's the problem with Utley. It's tough for me to say Utley if Kent's not in.
So okay,
you know what I mean?
So
it's just brutal.
Let's keep it simple. They should both be in. How about that? I'm not that's how simple it is.
It's not in because of steroids.
I don't know what his deal is.
I don't think Kent was ever associated with steroids.
I don't think people liked him.
Okay, Kent's definitely. I think Kent to me was better than Utley. I don't actually know, stat wise, but I can't imagine they're that far apart. But if Kent's not good enough to get in, then it's tough for me to say Utley too. But anyways, okay. So you're mad at me. So
how do you put in Manny Ramirez and not Alex Rodriguez? State your case. That's wrong, but go ahead.
Manny Ramirez was the one that I kept going back and forth on. Was Manny ever busted for steroids?
Yes, you're a hypocrite.
He was busted for the female steroids, right?
Okay, they're steroids. Hypocrite.
So you're right. So Manny Ramirez doesn't need to be on this list.
No, you already sent it in. It's already counted.
I'll remove
You
Manny.
can take him off next year, and everybody will complain yell at you about that. I'll yell at you about that one when you take him off.
That's also me not really remembering him being on that.
But that's the point. Why? What does it matter? Manny Ramirez is one of the best hitters of all time.
Correct. So Manny Ramirez was also very much. It's the David Ortiz argument saying he was very good when it mattered. I think Manny was too. Obviously, he has a pretty, 69.3 WAR, all that good stuff. Has, over 500 home runs, blah, 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 right? So the difference between Manny and Alex is the sheer change in how they played. And so I think Manny was more consistent. I don't think there was a giant jump. And also the steroids thing, the female steroids thing happened towards the end of his career. I don't think it impacted him. Obviously, you can make the case that everybody took steroids around that time. So I knew that's the one you're going to get mad about. I don't know. I wanted 10, and I wanted at one point I was like, I'll just put in Bartolo Colon because it's funny, but actually the other one that I looked at that I think is worth talking about, and I kind of alluded to it earlier, was Jose Reyes, and the reason for that is because he has over 500 stolen bases.
He's not that good.
No, and that's the problem. I don't think he was either.
You want Jose Reyes in the National Baseball Hall of Fame
Jose
Museum.
Reyes did something that most players can't do.
So what?
So here's the deal: if there's a player who can consistently do something that other players can't do, why would they not be in the Hall of Fame? That's going to be my argument. By the way,
because Billy Hamilton has that many steals too, and he stinks.
It does not have that many steals. Exactly. So that's my Vizquel argument. By the way, obviously
he's a piece of human trash himself.
Okay, that's fine, but he's one of the most. What do you mean, a piece of human trash? What are you talking about?
Not a good person.
Okay,
like a woman beater.
Okay, that sucks. I'm not saying that's not true.
Where do you draw the line?
At cheating at baseball, hitting a. Okay, this is gonna sound.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say that doesn't make you good at baseball. So
it's fair, but if you want to say this is the game of baseball, Pete Rose betting on baseball didn't make him better at baseball.
No, but he broke the rule of baseball. He broke the rule of engagement.
This guy broke the law.
Okay, but he did. Okay, that's fine. If you want to eliminate people for being trash, then you eliminate so many athletes.
Should Kurt Schilling be in the Hall of Fame?
You're making the same argument over and over.
The answer is yes.
No.
Why?
Because he cheated.
How? Kurt Schilling never took steroids. He's just a garbage human being.
Yeah, I guess that's fair.
Same argument. That's my point of just hypocrisy. Not just you. I know I'm coming at you because you're the one in front of me.
Right.
But it's how it all works in this environment. I don't know what
Kurt Schilling is a crappy human.
He's a bad person. He's not a good guy.
And continues to be a bad person.
Correct.
So you know what? I think he's worse because he continues to be a bad person, and I haven't heard anything about Vizquel for years. So maybe he turned his life.
You've been turning a blind eye then.
Maybe he turned his life around. Has he been worse? What's happened?
I mean, he just did bad things. 2001, domestic violence, just bad, just a bad guy. He's not a good person. I don't know. I can't. This is all 2021, so I don't know what came of it. But I'll go
21 or 2001.
2021.
Okay, gotcha.
Recently.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I mean, hey, you want him in? Sure, that's fine. Whatever.
Anyways, he was the most dominant defensive shortstop we've seen in a very, very, very long time, and may not see again.
Sure.
Kurt Schilling was very good, but I don't think he's the most dominant pitcher we've ever seen, and will be the most dominant pitcher we've seen in a long time. I think he was around when there were a lot of really good pitchers. Pedro Martinez, Randy Johnson.
And he
wasn't better than them.
He doesn't have to be.
Yes, you do. To be in the Hall of Fame, you do. Omar Vizquel was better than everyone on defense, and it wasn't close. And then, so going to the Jose Reyes conversation, I didn't add him, but he has 517 stolen bases.
Okay.
Other than Jimmy Rollins, who's 470, he's 100 stolen bases better than anybody else. And then you look at let's say Alex Rodriguez, 300.
Alex Rodriguez is hitting 60 home runs a year. What are you talking?
But
all right, hang on.
Okay,
dude, stop.
That home run number. You know how many people are hitting that many home runs now? A lot
None.
of people. A lot of people.
How many people have 600 home runs? Like 20, if that?
Okay.
Way less than that.
Okay, how many people do you think have 500 stolen bases?
About 40. 39 to be exact.
Okay, how many 600 home runs?
I'll tell you in a second. But based on this,
or 500 home runs, because 500 is the number, not 600.
Okay. We want Juan Pierre. Juan Pierre's the Hall of Famer, right? He's got 614 stolen bases.
I mean, he did it better than, I'm telling you, that's a part of the sport that doesn't exist anymore. What's your barometer? If they did something so much better than everyone else, they shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame?
They were only good. That's all they did. What do you mean? They hit 230. Like, what do you want from them? Like, I don't know I don't know.
Reyes almost hit 280.
Okay.
283.
How long did he play for?
He played for 16 years.
Okay. How many hits does he have?
He has 2,000.
It's more than I thought, to be honest with you. Okay.
I didn't include him. I'm just saying it's an interesting conversation.
It's
yes,
not.
It is. You're weighted towards the batting, just the batting part of sport. You forget there's other things you do in baseball other than hit the ball hard, Chris.
But you're wrong.
I'm not wrong. I'm just saying your argument about the home run thing is like if you're going to say 500 home runs should be an automatic into the Hall of Fame. There are other stats too that we should be looking at because that means they were very dominant at this one specific thing.
No, because if you hit that many home runs, you have RBI, you have hits, you typically
if you get that many stolen bases, you probably have a lot of runs scored. You probably have a lot of hits. You got probably a decent OPS. Like all that stuff has to be connected for you to get a stolen base.
Jose Reyes is like 600 and something in WAR. I can't believe I'm even looking this up right now.
His WAR is worse than Harold Baines. He should not be in the Hall of Fame.
Okay,
it's 37.
He deserves to be off the ballot this year. He's gone. He should not get 5%.
I agree, but I think it again, if we're going to have a conversation about one stat, you can't eliminate another stat. What's that number? If there's a stolen base number, what should it be?
Nobody's ever once said, oh, this guy's got X amount of stolen bases, he should be in the Hall of Fame. That's just not a thing. That's never happened.
Well, that's
Carl Crawford, arguably a better player than Jose Reyes, and he has 480. You think Carl Crawford's a Hall of Famer? The answer's no. No, I'm going to let you answer. The answer's no.
So
So
let's look at stolen bases. Hall of Famers. All right.
Go
Ricky
ahead.
Henderson, completely different.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. He's in a league of his own at 1,400. And then you got Ty Cobb is at 897. Let me look at other big names. Ozzie Smith, 580. And then, where's that 500 line? Paul Molitor, 504.
Okay. Paul Molitor also has 3,000 hits.
Okay.
Keep going.
Luis R. Aparicio has 506.
Yeah, Hall of Fame baseball player.
Hall of Fame baseball player? Why?
He might have a lot. I don't know. He was very good for his time.
Very good for his time. John Ward, 540. Just barely
Aparicio
more.
has 2,600 hits.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, again, what's that number?
It's
Tommy
not, it's not what you're
McCarthy
it's not what you're trying
has
to do.
468. He's a Hall of Famer.
not what
His
you're trying
WAR
to
is 16.2.
It's not what you're trying to do. Like here, Jose Reyes was a worse baseball player than Carl Crawford. He had 37 more stolen bases. He hit for a lower average.
I just want to
had
know what
lower
that number
slugging.
is, Chris.
There isn't one. Just get it out of your head.
There should be.
There
For
should not.
stolen bases, if you reach a career number
They
for
could
stolen
be
bases,
they could go into the basement or something if that's where you want them. But they don't belong.
if you're going to say that if you hit 500 home runs, you should be in the Hall of Fame, there should be a number for stolen bases too. That's all
There
I'm
should
arguing.
not be.
You're neglecting a part of the game, Chris, and shame on you. All right, so what else? What else do you want to argue about here?
I mean, I think you got me angry enough.
All right, so here's the deal. Alex Rodriguez is obviously the best name on this list.
He's the best shortstop of all time, without a question, and deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. There isn't name a shortstop better than him. There isn't.
Ozzie Smith.
He's not. At what? Defense? Okay, he can't hit as well as him. Simple. Jeter doesn't lick the dirt off A-Rod's cleats.
I will never make the case for Jeter.
Cal Ripken Jr., not better than A-Rod. Just not.
You know what? It's funny. I think I consider Ripken a third baseman.
Whatever you want.
I know he played a lot of shortstop.
You can put him wherever you want.
No, I think it's a fair conversation that Alex is one of the best shortstops of all time. But steroids.
Sure, whatever. I don't know. Like, I don't care.
Those are the rules of engagement, like we talked about. He doesn't get in.
He should. Eventually, somebody's gonna do right by these guys. I think. I don't know if it's to wait for that committee or how the hell that all works, but all these guys have to get in eventually. They should get in. Hopefully before they pass. Like it'll kill me if Pete Rose gets in after he passes away, and they're just like, oh, we'll put him in. Like,
no,
that should never happen.
I get that. Yeah.
That can't happen.
Yeah.
So that's the type of stuff. Like I just don't support any of that. But
I mean, the problem too with Pete Rose is like we can't. There's not even proof that he blew a game because of his gambling. You know what I mean? They just it sucks. Like I definitely think that's one of the more egregious ones to be left off. It's tough to make the case for steroids. But I think Pete Rose is way more egregious because there was no performance enhancement or decrease based off of that we know we can see.
I'm a big Hall guy. If you can't tell, I think big Hall minus your stolen base guys clearly.
Yeah, because you hate part of baseball.
But so the interesting thing now will be next year. I think there's more, but these are the first newcomers that I found notable that are going to be taking votes away. Now, mind you, we don't know how many people will get in. As of the second, Beltre was at 98.1% of public ballots. Helton was at 82.9%, Mauer 82.9%, and Wagner at 80%. Sheffield kind of high, but I think he loses on like anonymous, like non-public votes.
Yeah, and if Sheffield doesn't get in, he's done.
He's
right?
done. Yeah, he's got to wait.
10.
So that'll be the interesting one to see. Typically, I don't know the threshold. This tidbit I'm going to throw out there, but it's usually like if you reach a certain percentage of vote, say like 60%, you're usually going to get in, right? Like it's like if you get 60% by year X, then you'll probably end up getting in. But again, these are all public, about 27-ish% of the known ballots. So Sheffield at 73, Beltran at 64.8, and Andre Jones at 64.8. Everybody kind of lower than that in the 40s and stuff. So, I mean, it would be crazy. Like 4 people into the Hall of Fame in a year is a big deal.
Number. It's a big number.
We'll see what happens. Still a lot of time. I think the announcements in a couple weeks, which is why we want to get this episode out.
Yep.
But 2025, so next year's ballot includes Ichiro, who take away bias. Like, is there a reason he's not unanimous?
Right. Yeah. He's a Hall of Famer.
CC Sabathia should probably get in. I'd have to look more.
I need to look
I'd
more
have
at
to
the
look
stats,
more.
yeah.
Dustin Pedroia will be interesting. I don't think
so.
Agreed, but he'll get votes because people like him. And another one is Felix Hernandez, and that's a debate we'll save for next year.
Okay,
but
that's fair.
So again, that's what we have to look forward to next year. There's other guys getting at it. A lot of these guys on the ballot this year are going to drop off.
Yeah,
right? They'll only get their 1 year. A couple notables that'll probably drop off. Like you might see Bartolo drop.
Yeah, I don't think he makes it.
Like again, Jose Bautista should drop.
Right.
David Wright might drop off. And
I don't think David Wright's
me neither, but
a Hall of Famer.
But then there's the difference of like, is he a Hall of Famer? No. But does he deserve more consideration than he's getting? Yes.
I don't know. I don't think so. I think that goes back to your argument about how long do you have to be dominant to be considered? And
yeah,
I think he was very good for 3 years, but I don't think he's Hall of Fame worthy.
Big Game James will drop off.
Yeah.
Besides that,
Jose Reyes isn't going to make it.
He'll drop off. I think
absolutely.
So the other name I think like that I would like to keep an eye on going forward is Torrey Hunter, and like
no way he makes it.
He's like an odd candidate, and we had somebody tweeted us, that they had picked Torrey Hunter for theirs, and it's like
wild, really.
Yeah, it was Beltre, Bartolo, Helton, Torrey Hunter, Mauer, Manny, Sheffield, and Utley.
Nah, that was just a feel-good ballot. There's no
that's
way
8 total.
No, that's just that I like these people and I want them in the Hall of Fame. That has nothing to do off of merit.
Like,
there's no doubt. The Hall of Fame is the ultimate all-star game, right?
Okay.
It's the ultimate getting the votes. So there is a lot of popularity contest that happens here. That's why Kurt Schilling doesn't make it. That's why, Omar Vasquez probably doesn't make it either. Vizquel doesn't make it either, because they're not popular enough. That's why Kurt Schilling will never make it. And that's why Alex Rodriguez will never make it, because he's a cheater because people hate him.
If Alex Rodriguez got into the media like 3 years sooner, he'd be in by now.
You think that's why Poppy made it?
Yeah, 100%. He's a steroid guy too. He made it in the first ballot. Why? Because people like him.
It's because people like him and because he had some of the biggest hits people ever saw.
The designated hitter,
over and over again.
The designated hitter award in Major League Baseball is named after Edgar Martinez.
Uh-huh.
It took him 10 tries to get into the Hall of Fame.
Uh-huh.
That's all I need to say. So David
Ortiz was way better than Edgar Martinez.
Not as a hitter, he wasn't. He got to play in the playoffs more.
Yeah,
well, they're both DHs, right? So that's a pretty stark comparison of WAR.
Yeah,
right?
Mm-hmm.
Edgar was better.
What was Edgar's WAR compared to Ortiz? Because I'm just curious now.
Yeah, me too. Go ahead. You talk while I look it up.
I was just saying. The reason Ortiz made it, yes, people like him, but also he had big hit after big hit throughout their postseason runs, and that's why he's a Hall of Famer, because of what that's why freaking Derek Jeter's a Hall of Famer, because he was big in big moments.
Edgar, yeah, he has more. Like I don't know if he played a position longer or something. I don't think he did. But he's got less home runs, less RBIs, a few less hits, but he hit for a way higher average. 312.
What's the WAR comparison?
68.4 to 55.3. So
is Ortiz 55?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
So if Edgar, I know he played a little third base in his day, so I don't know if that
added to it.
Yeah,
right.
Put it this way: at bare minimum, they're even. Right, and to say Ortiz,
but they're both in the Hall of Fame, though.
Sure.
So what are you upset about? You're upset it took so long for him to get into the Hall of Fame?
I'm upset it took so long to get.
And you think people are hypocrites that allow David Ortiz in?
Yeah, that's right. And if you vote for Ortiz and not A-Rod, what are you talking about? Because he's your friend? Because he's in the media? Then, and I'm not saying David Ortiz shouldn't be in. He very much should be in. David Ortiz is a Hall of Fame baseball player. Mm-hmm. Do not take that from this conversation.
Okay.
my point is you can't say he is.
You're just mad at people who are voting for Ortiz and not A-Rod
everyone
and Manny and Roger and all those guys. Yeah. Okay.
But that's my gripe. I mean, I feel like I came off super angry at this one, but I love Hall of Fame. I love Hall of Fame talk. You know, I think, you know, now's not the time because we're about to get in the full swing of off season.
Right.
You know, some previews. We're gonna try and get some guests in. We have to figure out how to do that, but we will get there. And you know, eventually it's cool to just take a step back and be like, hey, like, this guy stops playing now. Is he a Hall of Famer? Right?
Yeah.
Like, you know, your current players that, you know, they're 10, 20 years away, but, you know, you got milestones coming up. Like Bryce Harper might get to 500. Trout, if he, depending on how the rest of his career goes, you know. So there's some milestones still out there. And, you know, this conversation really gets me juiced up. Obviously, you know, lock me in for Ichiro. Hell, I might even be in Cooperstown for Ichiro getting in.
That makes sense.
Yeah, we'll get there. We're gonna figure something out.
That makes a lot of sense.
Hang out with all the M's, you know.
I'm upset I didn't go for Chippers, to be honest with you.
Yeah. I didn't go for anybody notable. Like I think I was there. Sandberg. I want to say it was Ripken. Sandberg, Boggs, Sandberg. I forget. I went for them.
Mm-hmm.
There's another one I was there for, and I don't remember.
That's cool.
Who.
Yeah,
but
I need to do it for sure. And like I said, I mean, Chipper being my all-time, it's sad I didn't go for that, but
yeah,
it is what it is.
We might have to get up there for Ichiro.
That'd be fun.
Then I'll go hang out with Griffey and Randy and
I don't know if you want to hang out with Griffey. I hear he's not fun.
We're gonna hang out with him. He comes to Greenville.
That's how I know, or that's how I've heard he's not fun, because people who have seen him and tried to talk to him at a golf tournament have been very disappointed.
Ken, Mr. Griffey, Mr. Junior, Kid,
please love me.
Whatever you would like to be called, I will roll out the red carpet more than anybody ever has. I will ban Andrew from coming.
That's fine.
So I'll see you in Greenville one way or another if you make it here. I would prefer you get a hitting coach job for the Mariners, but that's a whole nother story. But for now, in the meantime, I really hope you enjoy this episode. Again, we got tense, but that's what Hall of Fame debates are about, right?
Exactly.
Hit us in the comments at Coaches Sons Pod. We're on X. We're on Instagram. We're trying to get more things. We're trying to get YouTube out there eventually. That's probably a little longer ways than most. But if there's something you want to see, something you want to hear, something you want to talk about, you let us know, and we'll see what we could do.
Yep, this has been fun, Chris, and I had a lot of fun making you angry. So I look forward to having more debates like this throughout the year. Thank you again, everyone, for listening. Please like us, subscribe, leave us reviews. All that stuff matters. My name's Andrew.
I'm Chris,
and this is the Coaches Sons Podcast.